You've waited a lifetime to look better and feel better, and now here's your chance. Fitness Friday on WNDB. Call 239-0033 and have your questions answered on health, fitness, and a better life. Fitness Friday is brought to you by Bodez by Tasso & Company, 1140 West Granada Boulevard in Ormond Beach. And now, here's your host, Tasso Kyriakis.
Welcome to Fitness Friday, Dave, and it's just you and me again. It's like old times.
Right.
We have, Mitch Booth of Love Whole Food is off, and Dr. Fon may call in the last 5 minutes.
All right.
But, this show is partially brought to you by Love Whole Foods, where we love, we laugh, and we lift. And also Dr. Fon helps contribute to bring this show to you. Dr. Fon is my acupuncturist. He's located on Granada at 725 Granada. So we're going to talk a little bit about all that in a minute. But, the show, because of the influence now of Mitch Booth, has gone the last several weeks more in the way of our diet and nutrition and supplementation. I want to bring it back to its roots a little bit today, and I want to talk about what the goal is for programming that we do at Bodez and how we approach that. Because, from the very first time you and I did a show, when we did our very, very first show, I came in there, I sort of didn't know much about radio at all, except, go in there and talk a lot, which I still do.
You're born with that gift.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's thank everybody here. Thank you. So, but over the years, I've been able to learn some of the things that we communicate the best and that get across the best, and then also at the same time we've sophisticated and we've continually updated what we do at Bodez. We've tried to innovate the programs that we do, and think about this evolution, Dave. When you and I first started, I would come in and basically I would tell you that, and I still believe this at its core. I believe this is that when you walk in and you train by Bodez training methods, which are knowledge training principles, and you train one set to failure, and you start with large muscle groups and you move to smaller muscle groups, and you do that in an intense fashion, and then you eat moderately and you eat smartly in how you eat, you're going to change your body. You're going to change all your parameters of your muscular function. Okay? And we look at the 4 parameters of muscular function. Number 1 is your muscular size, which we don't give very much credence. We don't care how big or small a muscle is. We care about how it works. So we focus on the other 4 parameters of muscular function. Then that's it. What's the strength? In other words, how much work can it do? Okay. Number 2, what's its endurance? How long can it do that work? Number 3 is what's the flexibility and range of motion in that muscle, and the strength through that range of motion, and the endurance through that range of motion. And finally is what is the cardiovascular efficiency? What is the recoverability of that muscle? How quickly does it come back? Which is completely based on how efficient your heart and lung function is. So that's where we function. Now, over the years, realizing that everybody doesn't like to walk in the door and go 6, 8, 10, 12 machines and go from machine to machine and have their brains beat out. We had to be innovative on how to put those programs together. The next thing we had to do was we really had to say, how are we going to get people to eat better? Because when we first started this, it was the knowledge diet. You walked in the door, we gave you the knowledge diet book. We said, look, here's the food you eat, here's how you prepare it, and here's your shopping list. And man, that was easy. That was just really easy to do. And so we look at it and we go like, do people want to continue to eat? Like, do they eat the same food every 2 weeks for 10 weeks?
Yeah.
No, the answer is no. Society has changed. Number 1, they don't want people to tell them how to eat. Number 2, they want to go be able to eat more variety of food. And a lot of people in this fast-paced world don't want the preparation. But, the one thing I will say is that I think one of the things that we have to turn around our society is that we really have gotten fast-paced in how we want to eat. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the reason for the backslash and the great value of what Mitch brings to the table when he talks about what goes on at Love Whole Foods, is that we have gotten to the point where, in trying to make life easier in our eating, we went to processing our food. We went to, and really what we were doing is trying to get food so we could open a box top or whatever and eat it and be simple and not put the effort into cooking it or cutting it or preparing it. And then we went to the fast foods. And the fast foods, you're very rarely seeing food prepared freshly from scratch there. When my mom owned a restaurant, City Provisioners or Swift Meat or whoever it was would deliver her raw materials every day. Watson's would deliver her vegetables. And what we would do is we would wash the vegetables, and we would trim the meat, and we would get it ready so my mom could make the dishes that she was going to make. There was a time when if we were making hamburgers, we didn't get the hamburger meat brought in the styrofoam thing. The meat came in a chunk of meat, and my mom had this big old thing, looked like a big old well you got in there, and we put the meat in there, and you would crank it through, and you'd force it through, and it'd go through basically a strainer, and out came the ground meat. Now they do that. It's all mechanized. It gets done. It gets
frozen.
And when you do that, you break down some of the membranes, start to break down some of the enzymes, and things begin to occur, chemical changes. So it just wasn't as fresh.
We went to Chili's a while back,
right.
and I ordered something, and it came with mixed vegetables, broccoli, carrots,
right.
and all that. And when the plate came out, the mixed vegetables were still in a portion control microwavable bag.
Were they really?
So they throw it in the microwave, tear the bag open, and put it on your plate, so it's not fresh there.
Yeah, and anytime,
I'm not putting it down because I eat a lot of frozen vegetables.
That's right.
At
And
home.
anytime you freeze, anytime you process, you begin to change the nature of the nutrition of food. And I think that and we'll get into this more. We have Kathleen's going to be calling us in a moment, but we'll get into this more after we talk to her. But the thing about it is that I see that over the years and watching the evolution of what Bodez has become, and how we have been successful at first the novice diet, and then we had flat stomach ASAP, and then we had healthy inspirations, and now we have the Take It Off program. But now the paradigm of how we eat, we really understand that when people come to us and say, I want to get into a weight loss program or a program to change my health through my eating, we really have an awful lot of lifestyles to consider. So what we do when we look at it like this is we say, what's your lifestyle? How committed are you to your goals, and what changes can you make? Because that's why we've developed the Take Shape for Life. There are some people that will walk in the doors of Bodez and go, look, I don't cook. I'm hectic schedule. I don't know where I'm going to be. I just don't have the time to eat right. I need something that gives me food, eats right. So you know what? It's Take Shape for Life. It's a MetaFast program that says, look, here's your options for what we call your lean and green. You're going to eat 5 of these meals that you can basically pop the wrapper and eat it with very little work. Putting it in a microwave, putting it in a water bottle, peeling it off, whatever. Okay. Then the second part of that is that you have to still eat real food. So we have the lean and green meal. So you have to learn how to make that lean and green. Now it can be something as simple as you stop off at your local grocery that has rotisserie chicken, and you take that chicken home and you buy the makings of your salad. Whether you buy it like a lot of times, I'm running home at night and I've been working all day. I stop at Publix or I stop at Walmart and I buy those Fresh Express
salad in the bag.
Salad in the bag.
Yeah, they're
I
good.
take
I
the whole
use
thing.
them.
I take the whole thing. I dump it out. I take the chicken that I bought. I cut the white meat out of it and I throw it up on top of my salad and I put my dressing on
Here's
it.
a hint: don't eat the whole chicken yourself in
I
one
don't.
setting.
I
In
don't.
one setting.
I don't.
right.
It takes me 3 times to eat all the white meat from a portion control standpoint.
Right.
And then my girlfriend has a bird that I feed the wings and
The bird eats chicken?
Yeah, the bird eats chicken.
That's cannibalism.
Yeah, I know. It's actually eating its own type. Can you imagine that? So anyway, it's sort of unusual, but hey, listen, that's
Okay.
what it is. So,
All right.
but I look at it and I look at how life has changed, and when we had healthy inspirations, we continue a journaling program with the Take It Off program and that. But you know what I found is people were so busy they didn't even have time to fill out their journals. They didn't think to bring their little journal with them and check it off. Now, the advent of applications with the smartphones has certainly been a big addition to that aspect of it and helping. But the thing that I'm really learning about from this standpoint of the education I've been going through over the last 2 years is this. I'm looking at this from the standpoint, Dave, that we take a plate and we begin to create thermic meals. And after we have our interview with Kathleen and her guest that she's going to have call in today, we will talk a little bit about the role of thermic meals.
Thermic meals
and how to eat that. So, and with that, I'm going to welcome Kathleen to our show today. Hello, Kathleen.
Hello, Tazo. How are you today?
Wonderful. And you are the founder of the Holistic Health Fair Festivals.
Yes.
And we're going to be at the one on the 30th
Right.
of this month that is going to be down at, it's March 30th, 10 to 4. And let me get it right. It's Sunshine Park Mall, not Big Tree as it was when I was growing up and I called it.
Oh.
It's at 2400 South Atlantic Avenue.
South Ridgewood.
South Ridgewood, South
Yeah.
Atlantic. See, I'm on the beach side back where I grew up. I can't help it. So now you were going to have about 100 distributors, exhibitors.
Right.
You have an awful lot in there. I can see from your list
Oh,
the other day.
yeah.
Is it the biggest show we've had yet, or what's it looking like?
It is, and it still keeps growing. The phone does not stop ringing. It's just been absolutely amazing what has been happening. This has just taken off like crazy. This will be our 13th event, and even though we've had 100 vendors and 1,000 visitors at the past, let's say, 4 or 5 events, this one's going to be even larger. I see it happening. I feel it coming. We have more and more people calling. There are more and more organizations interested, and not just local, but nationwide organizations as well. So it's going to be pretty huge.
And you've already started to lay out the festival itself with the booths and things of that nature, because you haven't really taken over the whole Sunshine Park Mall.
Yes, it's the entire interior walkway of the corridors of the mall, and we have a special alcove where you will be with WNDB and with Mitch from Love Whole Foods. So we have a special huge alcove just for you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And then we have
Wait, is that because you're trying to keep us out of the way of everybody?
No, you're going to have a big crowd over there, so we want to make sure you have a special spot.
All right, I'm a little leery now, because I know Mitch and I talk a lot, so I'm just a little leery that maybe we're going to be moved around. Let's keep them out of the way of the other people.
No, this is a high traffic area. It's where we've had a lot of vendors in the past. And then just a little further down from where you will be, is the tile floor in front of the Gourmet Kitchen restaurant, and that's where the ballroom dancing and Zumba will be happening all day. So it's a pretty active area down there. The whole place, actually, because the other end of the mall, where the Weight Watchers space used to be, we're going to have 10 massage therapists in there doing massage. So there's a lot of activity from one end of the mall to the other.
Well, we're working on trying to bring some surprises in as far as we're trying to get a trigger point myotherapist in from Cocoa Beach, and we're having some conversation with a Dr. Josh Axe, who is a chiropractic physician from West Palm that has written several books. So we're gonna try and get some people around. So it's more than just Mitch and I being there.
Mm-hmm.
From the standpoint of people to go see and enjoy, and from that standpoint, because we want people to have a great experience at it, and we want them to come out to it. This is actually, I've been there before helping Tasos Panos, but this is actually my first holistic festival with you, and I'd like to do a good job being down there. And you guys say, hey, listen, we need to bring him back. He was fun. So.
Oh, absolutely. I see that happening. I feel it coming.
You feel it coming, okay.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different samples, just little things to munch on, walk around, little samples of foods and organic coffees and organic teas and things of that nature. And since we spoke last week, we've had several people sign up, including Michelle Rakowski. She'll be on the line very shortly.
Right.
She's a Beachbody coach.
Right.
And she's a very busy stay-at-home mom. She has a little toddler, and she's an independent team Beachbody coach. She had a big article, Daytona News Journal ran for her in September. It was a full page about moms who juggle work, family, business, and she can be reached on all social media and under the name of Daytona Fit Mom.
Right.
So she'll be on very shortly with us too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we and have you had some other new vendors come in? I mean, who's going to be new that we have not seen? We've talked a lot about the older people who have been on the at the fair, but who are going to be some of the new vendors that we maybe have not seen besides myself and Mitch?
Well, we're having a woman who's traveling all the way from Gainesville. She's been with us for many years in our events. A company of angels, and her name is Patty Kimler, and she has beautiful little statues, little artifacts and paintings and crystals and just beautiful gift-type things. And I thought it would be wonderful to have her there because this is the day before Easter Sunday, and people are looking for little gifts like that. So I thought that would be really nice.
Take angels instead of rabbits.
The little bunny rabbits, too. Yeah, right. And then quantum balance crystals. They have become worldwide. They travel all over the world. And a woman from Titusville will be coming to represent quantum balance crystals. So she has joined us. And then we have Falun Dafa meditation. It's another type of meditation. We have several different types of meditation groups. Sylvia Serafova features that. She's been with us for many years as well, and it's always wonderful to have her loving presence and her quiet wisdom there. So she's been great. Herbalife has joined us. They'll be with us. Then we have some people, I think they're from Orlando. They represent STEM Tech, STEM technology. So they'll be talking about that. And they also have magnetic jewelry, magnetic bracelets.
Oh.
Yeah, which I have found great results with as well.
Okay, we have Michelle on the line, so let's bring Michelle into the conversation. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to Fitness Friday. This is Tassa from Bodez Personalized Fitness. How are you today?
Good, doing good. Thanks for having me. It's a good morning. Still on the old time for me and the baby.
Hey, listen, do you have a radio on in the back of you?
No, I turned it off.
Okay, because I heard an echo there. You hear it, Dave?
I'm on a cell phone. Is it better now? Or?
All right, we'll see how we do with it. So, Michelle, you're busy. Tell us about what a Beachbody coach does.
Sure. Like Kathy mentioned, I'm an independent teen Beachbody coach. A lot of people might not know what Beachbody is, but they've probably seen the infomercials. They're the creators of the workouts like Teen FBX and Insanity that are always having infomercials on all hours of the day.
Right.
We were founded in 1998 by CEO Carl Deichler, and it was really put together to help end the trend of obesity, but to give people an alternative. Gyms are great. I have worked out at a gym, but not everybody can do that, especially when they have some things change in their life, like me. Going from a corporate job to a stay-at-home mom and having a new baby at home, I was struggling, trying to find time to get to the gym. When can somebody watch the baby? And, what about the baby napping all the time? So they kind of put together something that's the most popular in-home fitness and weight loss solutions. And for me, it's really, really worked out well. My daughter's going to be, she just turned 2, but I'm able to wake up before she gets up in the morning and get my workout in. When she's napping, I can go ahead and get my workout in then and not stress about, oh my gosh, how am I going to get my workout in today? I can't get to the gym and I don't have a sitter. So it's really been something great that I've been, successful with. The two main things I really wanted to talk about today and that I'll have at my booth is Shakeology, and I'm going to talk about the Beachbody Ultimate Reset. So they aren't really workouts. They're more a supplement from on the supplement lines that we offer. And the Shakeology, I drink it every day. I drink the vegan formula. It comes in regular and comes in vegan. It comes in 3 different flavors, greenberry, tropical, and chocolate. And pretty much what Shakeology is, it's an ultra-premium nutritional health shake that's a wide array of superfoods, vitamins, minerals, from around the world in a very nutrient-dense but low-calorie form. And it's been coined the healthiest meal of the day. It's not a chemical, gimmicky type weight loss shake. It's a true health shake. I'm not trying to lose any more weight. I'm just trying to stay healthy and stay fit, and I drink it every day, once a day as a meal replacement. I'll probably never stop because I love it that much. But I'll be bringing samples and making some different recipes and handing those out at the show as well. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, and these are programs, again, like I've done, I truly believe in, is Beachbody Ultimate Reset. And what that is the Ultimate Reset, a 21-day program. And what you're doing is your body, it's a detox program, but it's not the detox like everybody's familiar with. It's an inner body tune-up, and it releases years of toxins that's built up within us, and it helps us feel and look better and truly be better inside in 21 days. And I went through this in October, and through my experience of going through 3 phases, in the 3rd phase, you end up cutting back on all your grains, and you're eating things that you guys were talking about earlier, mostly fruits and vegetables in their whole form, nothing processed. And I actually ended up turning vegan after I did this. And it wasn't for any, other reason than I wasn't craving the things that I cut out in those 3 weeks. And even when I would cook it for my husband and my daughter, and it was things that I would eat on a daily basis before, like egg whites or chicken or lean meat, I just didn't crave it anymore. So it was really neat to go through that experience. what that does is phase one is you reclaim your body. So you're getting your body's inner chemistry ready for a change, and you'll start to slowly remove the red meat and the dairy. In the second week, it's called release. So you're releasing toxic compounds that are stored within your tissues, and that phase includes a gentle colon cleanse, not anything like people are probably thinking of. But you'll now be eating like a full vegetarian diet. And that phase for me, I really, really liked that phase. But then it was phase three is the restore phase, and you're restoring your metabolism to maximum efficiency, putting nutrients, enzymes, and pre and probiotics back into your system, and that cut out on grains, and now you're just eating mostly fruits and vegetables. And to be honest, I wasn't starving, and it just wasn't one of those cleanses that you always hear about. So that was a really, really good experience. So
yeah, there's been some pretty dramatic cleanses that go on. You know, we had the trend a couple of years with the cayenne pepper, and you've seen people that go on. You know, they do just go on the cabbage soup as a cleanse, and you know, the cleansing is really I think because of a company. I guess the first company that was a direct sales company that started to do it was Isogenics. It was one of the first companies that began to do this and set this type of format forward. But you know, we about 2 years ago with my round table of personal trainers, we started to get into understanding the value of intermittent fasting to cleansing the body, and as a result, it's led to doing a couple 4-day fasts. And my lifestyle for my faith, I do a lot of fasting anyway. But the other thing it brought me to now is through some of the people is doing the Daniel fast, which really ends up at what you're talking about right now, is that you cleanse the body, you get it running more efficiently, and it really works from a standpoint of it runs contrary a lot of times to what we think of typically in the fitness industry. Because, you know, in the fitness industry, and I had to make this distinguishment, is that in the fitness industry, we talk about people building muscle and that. We talk about let's eat 5 or 6 small meals a day.
Right.
And the role of fasting, you really square the timing down that you eat a lot of times. And I don't know if this is consistent to you, but we get in that 6 or 7 hour time frame, and you allow the body to cleanse, and you don't put the body underneath that pressure. And a lot of chiropractic physicians will talk to you about that you know, they really don't think that breakfast is the healthiest meal for people. You know, there's a big debate about that now.
Right, absolutely.
But we'll look forward to seeing you there. Tell us, are you going to demonstrate? You have any videos available for sale from Beachbodies or anything like that when you're there?
Yep, I'm actually going to have my laptop with me demonstrating a lot of the videos online, and then I am giving away a gift basket, which is going to have some different samples of products, some supplements, some of the Shakeology they can take home and make on their own, a workout, and a healthy cookbook as well. So definitely come by and register for that, and we're definitely looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we look forward to having you in town and having you with us. And you're local. And how do people get hold of you if they want to have you work with them in their home?
Absolutely. I am local, and I can work with people all over the place. I've got clients in California and everywhere. A lot of it's I'm offering motivation and stuff over the Internet and over Facebook, too. Any avenue, you can find me at Daytona Fit Mom. So Facebook would be facebook.com, Daytona Fit Mom. Instagram or Twitter, just put in Daytona Fit Mom, and you'll find me, and I'll be there to support you.
All right. Wonderful, Michelle. Kathleen, is there anything that you want to point out from Michelle's role in the health fair?
Oh, I'm just so grateful she'll be there with us. This will be wonderful, and we'll make sure she has a really good spot as well so that she can share the DVD. So that's excellent, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
First and
Yeah.
foremost, both Alvin and I would like to welcome you to the...
My computer started talking to me. So
You still have Kathleen with you.
I know. Kathleen, I don't know what that came from. Kathleen, tell us again about the start of the holistic health fairs for you.
When I first started was in 2006, and it was actually an internship, which was part of my master's degree program, and I needed to come up with 12 different internships of 40 hours each. So I thought this would be the first of my internships doing a holistic health fair, and I had 20 vendors and 100 visitors, and I thought I was done. But here we are several years later on our 13th event with 1,000 visitors and 100-plus vendors at this point, so it has really blossomed, and it's to raise awareness of wellness resources, and we have so many different wonderful vendors there just sharing their products and services, and it's all good. There's something for everybody. Something may speak to someone and maybe not the other, so we can't do everything, but we can find what works for us. So which program would work the best? What eating patterns we should follow? What would work the best? What meditation works the best? What exercise program? So there's something for everybody there, and there's free samples all day long. And again, there'll be free ballroom dance lessons and Zumba and 10 massage chairs. So we have 10 massage therapists on duty as well.
Great. And I hope people come by because, you know, as we talked with Mitch, I think Mitch sort of coined the phrase for us a couple weeks ago of the complementary services. We used to think of acupuncture. You know, Dr. Fahn, who's one of my good friends and treats a lot of my members and that, he'll be there.
He'll be there.
And you'll see a lot of people. There are acupuncture, there are massage therapists, there's, meditation and that. So I hope that people get the opportunity to come out. It's March the 30th. It's 10 to 4 on that Saturday. That's the day before Easter for a lot of people. And so we hope you'll be out there with us, and we look forward to meeting you in person, and we'll have our booth over there. Hopefully we'll have some surprises at our booth for people.
What's fun? I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right. Well, you have a great day, and drive safely. I know you're off going to school.
Oh, I'm on spring break this week.
Oh, are you? Okay. That's right. My daughter's at spring break, so... All right. Well, listen, Kathleen, thank you very much. God bless you. And I know we've got to go to break here. So remember, that's Kathleen Zarenko. It's the 13th Annual Holistic Health Fair. It's at the Sunshine Park Mall on 2400 South Ridgewood. It's on March 30th, 10 to 4. Sounds like it'll be hundreds of distributors and things. So hope you'll join us there. Before we go to break, let me just remind you, the $13 down and $13 a month program that is running at Bodez. Your first 3 months are $13 a month for the Body Coach program, normally a $59.50 investment, is running, and we have the opportunity for you to get involved. So there's over a $300 savings in getting your membership started and getting you in shape. We want to hold your hand on that journey to you getting in shape, and this is your resolution rescue. This is the solution to the goals that you had set for yourself. When we come back, we're going to be talking about things and expectations of looking at a well-rounded program and how to be properly coached in that program. So the phone number is 672-6464 for Bodez to make an appointment. If you want to talk to me right here live or bring your questions on the radio, 239-0033. We'll be back right after this break.
In the counties of St. Johns, Flagler, Putnam, and Volusia, over 200 arrests have been made this year.
Crime Stoppers of Northeast Florida.
Property valued over $100,000 has been recovered.
Call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-277-TIPS, 1-888-277-8477.
Drugs worth more than $360,000 have been taken off the street.
Crime Stoppers of Northeast Florida.
Rewards of over $30,000 have been paid to tipsters who remain anonymous from Crime Stoppers of Northeast Florida. Making our community a safer place depends on all of us. Share your valuable information anonymously.
All you want is a better, safer community. Help us help you. Crime Stoppers of Northeast Florida. On the web at WeStopCrime.com. Call 1-888-277-TIPS. That's 1-888-277-8477.
Are you afraid of the number 13? Are you afraid of being unhealthy, overweight, overtired, and just plain fat and worn out? Well, 13 is now your lucky number. Tasso here from Bodez Personalized Fitness in Ormond. That's right, $13 can change your health, energy, and body appearance. $13 starts your fitness membership and $13 a month for the first 3 months of your membership. We'll use our Smart Start Fitness program and our Fitness Passport to begin your program and set you on the path of better health, energy, and fitness. My Bodez team and I will coach you, assist you, and guide you to success. Call 672-6464. That's 672-6464 to set your no-obligation consultation. Remember, $13 down, $13 per month for the first 3 months to start your fitness journey. My staff and I are motivated and committed to you getting results. That's the difference you'll find from the moment you walk in our program and begin your journey. So call 672-6464 to start your fitness program with only $13 down and $13 a month for the first 3 months. And of course, all of our memberships have a 30-day money-back satisfaction guarantee.
Call 239-0033 for Fitness Friday and your host, Tasso Kyriakis. Here's Tasso.
Welcome back to Fitness Friday. Am I back?
You're back. You're back.
All right.
What's up, man?
What's up? What's up with you?
What's up?
What's up?
That's too old.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, so I started before we got on the phone with Kathleen to talk about some of the evolution of what we've done at Bodez. You know, when we first started, and we were in that 800 square foot room at Omega 40, it was a racquetball court.
Right.
In the racquetball court, we had about 10 Nautilus machines. We had a couple free weight machines. We had a life cycle bike. We had a Stairmaster. We had a row machine, and we had a treadmill. And so in that room, we got about 70 people, great results. And they would walk in, and we would train them on their circuit, and they'd get 6 to 12 minutes or 20 minutes of cardio afterwards, and then off they would go. And they got results, and that's what we were about. But I would have told you at that time, as I still believe, that the circuit training philosophy we use of our strength training principles were the foundation and the key to that, and could deliver absolutely everything you desire. Now, what we've done is become innovative with our burst training for cardiovascular training to make it more efficient. We've learned to take people who come in and they've done a lot of aerobic exercise, and we know their lower body is pretty strong. We take them and we begin to strengthen their upper body first, still maintaining our large muscle group machines first for safety purposes. So here's what, when a person comes in, here's the 7 or 8 points that I try and make sure their program addresses, Dave.
Right.
I want to speed up their metabolism, because it doesn't matter if they're overweight or over fat or not developed as well as they should be. Their metabolism is key to this. And the one thing we have to remember is that we're not the victims of our metabolism. We're the creators of it. You know, we just heard Michelle talk about the different eating programs she does.
Right.
And whether they're a cleansing program to get the body prepared or whatever, at some point we have to address how people's metabolism, because metabolism by definition is the sum total of calories expended to utilize the food that we intake. Okay?
Right.
So we want to speed people's metabolism. Now, how do we do that? Well, of course, the exercise does it, but one of the key things in raising people's metabolism is to build muscle. Okay? Now, that's something that, quite frankly, scares a lot of females. But I will tell you that today I did a body fat on a young lady. She was about 2.5 pounds heavier than she was when she started 6 weeks ago.
Right. Heavier.
Heavier.
Right.
Okay, so ordinarily girls says, "Oh no, that's not very good," and she said, "How could that be?" She says, "My jeans are fitting me looser."
She thought it was a weight loss program.
No, in her case it wasn't, because she was pretty fit coming in the door.
Okay.
So we did her body fat. Her body fat in this 6-week program dropped by 3.5%.
Mm-hmm.
So even though she had gained almost 2 pounds on the scale, she when we looked at her, she'd actually gained 4 pounds of muscle and lost 2 pounds of fat.
Wow, that's great.
So she had changed her body. Her body was actually smaller in circumference. Her stomach was 3/4 of an inch thinner, and one at the belly button, and an inch above the belly button, an inch and a half smaller.
Wow.
Now, that comes because, you know, we hear this phrase that says, muscle weighs more than fat. They say that's not true. It's more dense than fat. So a pound of muscle weighs the same as a pound of butter.
Like a pound of feathers weighs the same as a pound of bricks.
That's right.
A pound's a pound.
A pound's a pound. But that pound of feathers takes up a big grocery bag.
Yeah.
A pound of a brick is about a 4x4. Right. So that's what we do.
You learned that lesson if, as a kid, you were into like recycling aluminum cans.
Right.
A big giant garbage bag full of aluminum cans. That's 1/3 of a pound.
Right.
Here's 12 cents.
There you go. Exactly. So we want to build the muscle, because also the muscle is the metabolic activity part of the body. So it's our lean body tissue. So we want to increase our muscle growth capacity, which has a lot to do with hormones, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But by increasing our muscle growth, because, you know, we tend to believe that we're too old to exercise. We tend to believe that we can't work hard enough to get our muscles to work right. But we want to have a game plan that increases the muscle growth capacity for people. The fourth thing that I try to emphasize in the people's program is that I want to increase their range of motion. I want to increase their functional fitness. And that means increasing the range. It means the exercise. Charles Atlas had a great exercise program. We had the irresistible force against the immovable object called isometrics. The problem with it was it wasn't isometric. It wasn't full range of motion. So as intense as it was great how it burned calories. That. But what it did not do is did not work through the range of motion very efficiently. So we want to increase range of motion. We want to increase function and performance of the body. That goes back to range. It builds on that range of motion goal. So we want to increase the function and the performance of the body. If you're 80 years old, Dave, the function and performance of the body is about getting up and down off a chair, walking better. In fact, something that I've held back talking about is at Bodez right now. About 20% of my one-on-one clientele is over 80 years of age. So we deal an awful lot with people who have knee replacements, hip replacements, that type of surgery and that, or have very limited range of motion in their joints. And when they try to work out on some of the equipment that they can see in a normal fitness center, they're not very successful with it because it just causes too much pain. And so the first step of this was we brought equipment in called SciFit. And SciFit had the benefit that it would go forwards and backwards, right. And it had different modalities we could work on it. Well, we worked with the SciFit people, and about 18 months ago, we produced the very first model of equipment, a piece of equipment called Step 1. What Step 1 was a vision that we had that said, listen, we need to have it so people can exercise, but they can control their range of motion. And if they want to try and increase their range of motion, rather than me grabbing a hold of your knee or leg and saying, here, let's push that range of motion, Dave. You went through this because when you had your surgery on your knee after your accident, one of the most painstaking things you had to do was get the range of motion and function back.
That's right.
So we have produced, and now it's been in production for 18 months. It's been in 6 rehab clinics in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the machine was actually made. Mm-hmm. And now we have the first beta test machine here.
Good.
And
cool.
It's called the Step 1. And what it does, it has hands and it has the feet. And the feet, rather than acting like a bike or like an elliptical machine, which sometimes causes people who have knee and hip replacement problems, it works like a plunger system. And you can set your range of motion on how far up or down you want to go. And then you can guide that range of motion with your hands to sort of protect it. If you say, I want to go a little bit further there, I can push it with the hands to get it there. If I can't, I don't have the muscular strength to do it. So this machine we started to work with. Well, we saw it in its creation as a machine that would be great for people who have hip and knee replacement and say they can't exercise. So a lot of those people come in there overweight and say, I can't exercise. I had my knees replaced. Poppycock, okay? So, but what the thing is we've seen now is this clientele that I have is in the 70s and 80s. That fraction of our clientele is they tend to get to where they close their gait up when they walk and they shuffle. Mm-hmm. Like the old Artie. What was his name on
Laugh-In?
Artie Gibson, was that his name?
I was going to say Artie Shaw, but that was a big band. Yeah. No, Artie Gibson.
Artie Gibson. So, and he would shuffle, and actually Tim Conway would do it. He would shuffle, remember? So that's a part of two things are occurring. Number one, the individual is losing that fast twitch muscle fiber that allows the fluid movement to get the gait open. And the second thing that's occurring is they're losing that strength and they can't move it, and they're losing that range of motion through their hips. Well, this machine, what these physical therapists that worked with this machine we developed told me, he says, we're noticing that people's gaits are getting better. So now what we've done is we've taken people who have come to us who are on walkers and on canes and that, and have that problem because when your gait closes down a little bit, your risk of falling goes up dramatically. And so we have it to where these things are working. So that's one of the things that machine was about, increasing function and performance. The second thing we want to do, or another thing we want to do, the sixth thing on my list, is we want to reduce fat. We want to get the body to where it burns fat, and we do that through our attention to building muscle or strength training, moderate attention to aerobic activity, which our aerobic activity now comes in the form more so of burst training, as we've talked about. And the seventh thing is we want to increase people's energy. I don't know how many people tell me every day that, I just feel like I need more energy. And then the final one, which goes back to a lot of the things we talked about, the energy and that, and energy goes hand in hand with mood changes occurring, but this is the reason for that. We need to optimize hormonal performance or production, because what happens is that hormonal production and levels start to get skewed, what happens to us is now what begins to occur is we get the mood swings, we get the energy things. And, there's an awful lot, there's an awful lot of marketing going on now to, before it was females, and we're still marketing to females about their hormones.
Sure.
Now we're marketing to men
Right.
about their testosterone
Yeah.
levels and being younger and being able to
Yeah.
build more muscle. Well, a lot of us
Have more desire.
a lot of us are not producing as much testosterone as we produced when we were younger, but we are producing enough that we still should be very functional if it's not tied up from the stress that we go
I
through.
still have to shave every day.
There you go. I don't have.
I didn't
to-
today.
Neither did I. So, we need to look at that. And a lot of assessment of what we do now is I look at the categories of how I put people in. And I don't look at if they're pear-shaped or apple-shaped. I don't look if they're eating right for their type. I don't look at endomorph and ectomorph and mesomorph. What I look at is where their motivation type is and where their mindset is. It's very important to me when I look at that. So when people say, well, why do I need to sit down with you for an hour before I go into a workout? Well, it's for this reason. I try and evaluate a person on several levels. Number one is what is the kind of person that motivates them best? Now, it's going to be a mixture of four types: a drill sergeant, a teacher, a goal setter, and a cheerleader. Those are the four basic personality types. And every person responds to a mixture of that. But also every person recognizes they need one of those to be a bit of a dominant or highly influential person. So the drill sergeant, what he brings to the table in my formula is accountability and focus. The teacher brings education and experience. The goal setter brings the expectation of what you can accomplish. And the final one, the cheerleader, that person brings the positive motivation, the feedback from that standpoint. Now, those personalities now have to deal with three different kinds of categories for people. There's the thoroughbred. The thoroughbred is like that triathlete I'm training that walks in the door and tells me how wore out he is, how he trained, and he didn't do as good as he could have done, and boy, he wishes he was better. God, I'm not as good as I used to be when I was younger, and I'm fat now, and the guy's 5.5% body
I was
fat.
going to say, still 30 times better than we are.
That's right. That person's a thoroughbred. They have this expectation. They've been fit. They're elite athletes, so they're a thoroughbred. They have a different mindset than the person who's the phoenix. The phoenix is they want to remember what they used to be. They want to say, when I was in high school, I was in pretty good shape. I had a 32-inch waist, and I had this. That's the phoenix. They're looking back and they're saying, and the phoenix, for those of you who don't know, is that mythical creature that came from the standpoint of it was in the ashes, it rose from the ashes, it lives 500 years, it comes back and bursts into flame, goes in the ashes, and arises again. It's a mythical bird from Greek mythology.
Right.
So where the thoroughbred looks to create their future and is very aggressive about it, the phoenix is remembering where it's been and wants to recapture it. The final one is the chrysalis. The chrysalis has a very difficult time imagining what they can do. It's the chrysalis, for those of you who don't know, is that stage between the caterpillar and the butterfly. It's the cocoon stage where we're there and we're in the cocoon, and we don't know that we're going to come out of this cocoon and we're going to be this beautiful butterfly. And we have to look at it. We have to say, okay, what do I have to do to get to where I want to be? So we look at the chrysalis and we say, we have to get you to imagine. We have to get you to discover the hope that you can have for what we're going to do. Now, why do people fail in their programs, Dave? Many fail because they're misled. They're sold a product or exercise that's supposed to be the one-stop deal, that's supposed to be everything to everybody and get the job done. There's misinformation that's given out, and some people are given misinformation or misled because it's just the philosophy of that person. It's something to work for that person. It wasn't what was dictated by science and proven methods in thousands of cases. Then they abandon their effort. They abandoned working hard. It's that time when, one of the things I tell people, I had a lady and a husband that are on a weight loss program. They joined together. Now, they're both about 6 to 8 pounds down. Okay? Should they be more down? Maybe. That's not my determination. My determination is to make sure that they're happy with their progress and to keep them on their progress. So I said to them, they came in and I talked to them about what they were doing eating wise, and they really hadn't been as good as they could be, and there was reasons why they hadn't, which are all valid reasons, and we worked with them on it and said, listen, how do we avoid this from being a pitfall next time? But I said to them, I said, you know, I don't want to be the guy that you had in every other gym that you've been in, because they've been in a lot of gyms that told you, yeah, we'll get you this, and then we didn't get you that. So the drill sergeant part of me has to come out now for the accountability and to have a plan that's put in place for them and says, this is what we've got to do. And what I'm really interested in is, what'd you do better this week than you did last week? That's all I'm interested with them. They're not coming in to be drill sergeant recruits. They're coming in to change the quality of their life and take time so they can enjoy the best of it. But what I have to stop them from doing is getting to the third stage of why people fail, and that's abandoning the belief that they can accomplish what they're setting out to accomplish. So my role is to do that. So the perils of these flawed attempts are these devices people buy. You know, they buy the shake-a-weight kind of deal. They buy the stuff off the TV, okay? Number two is, and this, people go, well, you just hate aerobic exercise, is the reliance on aerobic exercise. Because think about this. Let's look at the positive part of aerobic exercise. That we could go to the gym every day and we can do 60 minutes of aerobic exercise every day. Now, first of all, what you've done is you've set yourself up that every day to lose your weight or be successful, you have to do aerobic exercise. If it's raining outside or if you have a day that you don't want to go out and you can't go do your exercise, you have stepped back on your pattern. Okay? Aerobic exercise, when it's the only form of exercise you do, you lose lean body tissue and fat body tissue in changing your body. Okay, so we have to make sure that we have a balanced program that goes after it. So then there's false beliefs that people have. I'm too old to exercise, or cutting calories is the effective secret. I don't see it that way, and that's a tough thing. So here's the goals I have when I meet with a person the very first time, besides figuring out what their motivational style is, how to best communicate with them. We have to get them to understand synergy. That synergy we talked about moderate aerobic activity, attention to the muscle, and good nutrition. What we put in the form, Dave, of our 3 Ps, positive motivation, proper nutrition, and productive exercise. We have to apply progressive challenge. That's a difficult thing. Those of you that are walking around in your fitness centers that you're in, here's what I challenge you to do if you're not satisfied with the direction of your results. I challenge you to go over to whatever machine you're doing, and you've probably done that machine in the same order, on the same day, for the same time frame, and with the same weight.
Yeah.
If you don't do anything else, change the weight. Okay? Either lighten the weight and look at your form and say, is my form really that good? Lighten the weight and get better form to make it harder. Or say, I've been slacking with this weight. My form's okay, but I'm doing 20 reps. Increase that weight. Is it tough when you get to 12 reps and you can do 20? Yeah, it's tough. But you know what? Are you at your optimum? If you can do 20 reps, 12 is nothing. How much time are you doing that exercise? And then the third thing is, I want you to eat better than you did last week. So we have to put the right nutrition, moderate exercise, and concern for muscle. So supportive eating is to consume a thermic meal every 3 to 3.5 hours. Now, what's a thermic meal? A thermic meal is a lean protein, a starchy carb, or a fibrous carb. Here's some examples of it, okay? Lean proteins, egg whites, white chicken breasts, turkey breasts, fish fillets, shellfish, low-fat dairy products, soy products, okay? What's starchy carbs? Potato, sweet potato, whole grain, brown rice, wild rice, oats, tomatoes, peas, and corn. Okay? What's a fibrous carb? Cauliflower, broccoli, spinach, lettuce, cabbage, onions, peppers, most vegetables found in the produce section of the supermarket, including kale, artichokes, asparagus, and carrots. So now when you take your plate, you're going to take your plate and you're going to make it half fibrous carbs, quarter starchy carbs, and a quarter lean protein, right? The bad foods to avoid are simple sugars, high-fat type meals, like you get going through the drive-through, and more and more the sodas that we're drinking with the high fructose corn syrup, the French fried potatoes that we're getting with it, the fried food in general, that's making your food high fat.
How about that rotisserie chicken you mentioned earlier? That they tend to be kind of fatty too if you're not careful.
Well, but if you cut out, if you
eat the white meat,
and you take the skin off, you're doing a pretty good job.
Okay.
Now you can go buy chicken breasts and marinate those chicken breasts in little baggies with different salad dressings.
Sure, Italian,
and then take them out and just cook them fresh.
They're good.
You can do that with it.
Okay.
So looking at carb-heavy meals, the things that are a plate of spaghetti with meatballs over
Sure.
it, saturated fats, refined carbs, like buying the macaroni and cheese in the box, making that.
Yeah.
So the good meals are a balance of protein and carbohydrate. They're free from simple sugars, and they're using only natural foods from unprocessed source. So what happens is when you look at sugar, especially because we tend to beat up on sugar, but you have this insulin and this glucagon response that goes on in the body. Those should be glucagon should be working just as much as insulin is, but we've become an insulin dependent society because we eat so many processed and refined sugars in that. Mm-hmm. So what we want to do is make sure that we look at the function of these two hormones in the liver and make sure that we're getting the body to eat on a regular basis, eating better. So here's your refined carbs that you'd be putting looks to: cookies, cakes, pastas, breads, donuts, and bagels. So that's what we want to do. So there's part of our proper nutrition that helps us to go in the right direction. And then we bring in the fats, the hydrogenated fats, saturated fats, the EFAs that are omega-6s and 3s. Some of those we actually need. When we start to make low-fat, no-fat food, we start to put processing into them. So, and here's a good example of a supported meal option. How about ground turkey breasts made with tomato and spinach in it, using a whole grain bun with ketchup and fat-free cheese or low-fat cheese. Okay, so your lean protein would be your ground beef, your ground breast, turkey breasts. Your starchy carb is your whole grain bun and your tomato. And your fibrous carb would be your spinach that you put on it. Mm-hmm. That's an easy solution, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's easy to do. It's easy not to do. So what we want to do is I want to encourage you to get involved in a program that starts to move you in the right direction. Do we have programs that have meal replacements? We do. Why do we have those? Because they might be the starting point that we have to go to help people be successful in the long run. Again, the poster boy for this whole concept is Steve Robinson, who's been on the show with us before. Steve is a wonderful walking, talking example of someone who passed through the whole paradigm of what we look at weight loss. He started on a Take Shape for Life type of program using shakes and puddings and bars and eating 850 to 1,100 calories a day, exercising 2 days a week, getting in and out the door in basically about 15 minutes. And today, when I worked him out this morning, his workout was about 30 minutes long, and then he did 20 minutes of cardio training, that burst training in it. He trains twice per week. He's eating approximately 2,800 calories a day. He eats good meals. He eats 5 or 6 meals a day. And his is a fitness program. He has worked on a fitness program. We've passed the part of the healing program that would require it. Now, will I suggest to Steve at some point, hey, Steve, you know what we need to do? We need to do a little fasting. Yes, I will. I'll tell them that from the standpoint of getting them on the right track and keep them on the right track. So what we do is we want to move you from, if you have to use those meal replacements, we want to move you to where you don't have the dependence on those. So if you're interested in that program, 672-6464, Bodez by Tasso & Company. Remember, $13 down, $13 a month for your first 3 months. Membership gets you started on your journey. Thank you for tuning in. Be safe, enjoy Bike Week, and look twice for those bikers. God bless you.
Daytona Beach, first in local news. Fox News updates at the top of every hour. Online at newsdaytonabeach.com.